transcribed. Around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with the U.S. Marshal and the smell of GunSmoke. GunSmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
It had been some time since we'd had any real trouble. Anything more than throwing a few juiced-up cowboys in jail to sober up for a few hours. And I liked it peaceful for a change, and I hoped that it'd stay that way. Well, that morning I'd gone to take a few catfish out of the Arkansas. When I got back to the office, I found a note from Chester saying he's at the Alafraganza having a beer. Hello, John.
Over here, Mr. Dillon. Any luck, sir?
Oh, about a dozen, Chester. We'll have them for supper.
No, that'll be fine. Oh, I've been telling Mr. Carter here about you, Mr. Dillon.
Mr. Carter?
Robert P. Carter. How do you do, Marshal?
Hello, how are you?
Buy you a drink?
Well, thank you. Yes, I believe I will. I think I'll have a beer.
Bartender, a beer.
Yes, Mr. Carter came in on the stage from Denver last Saturday.
Oh, you live in Denver, Mr. Carter?
Oh, heavens, no. New York, Marshal. I've only been west a few months, investing money in gold mines and cattle and the like.
Mr. Carter's very rich.
Oh.
Well, Chester, I will be if Mother Nature holds out.
His girl is coming in on the stage today, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, is that so?
My fiancée, Marshal.
He met her in Denver, but she couldn't get ready in time to come here when he did.
Ah, I see.
I had to come ahead on business. Couldn't wait. We'll take the Santa Fe to St. Louis from here.
They're going to be married in St. Louis, Mr. Dillon.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thanks. But is the stage always this late?
He's worried, Mr. Dillon, with his girl on the stage and all.
It'll be along, Mr. Carter.
You talking about the stage?
Oh, hello, Shiloh.
Shiloh says he's been sitting there by himself all morning, Mr. Dillon.
Since last night, Chester.
You know something about the stage, Shiloh?
Only that it's carrying $50,000 in gold out of Leadville.
So?
So maybe that's why it's late.
What do you mean, man?
Well, if somebody wanted that gold, they'd have to stop the stage long enough to get it unloaded, wouldn't they?
Bandits. He means bandits.
Now, hold it, Mr. Carter. You're already bleeding and nobody's shot you yet.
What?
Nothing. Just take it easy. The stage will get here all right. It's often a little late.
But this man says it might have been held up. Why, there may have been a shooting.
Well, now, he's just daydreaming, that's all.
Wait a minute. Listen.
Huh?
Well, there it is now.
Oh. See, Mr. Carter, there was nothing to worry about. It got here all right.
Yes. Marshal! Hey, Marshal, come here.
What is it, Jim?
Got held up, Marshal.
What?
Lost 50,000 in gold.
Where'd this happen?
About 20 miles back near Cottonwood Draw, but
Anybody shot?
another shot fired. He tricked it. But
Jane!
Marshal,
Where's Jane? What? Driver! Where's the girl who was on this stage? What's happened to her?
that's what I started to tell you, Marshal. There's a tree across the road. We got down to move it. This rider got the drop on us. He's all alone.
Never mind all that. Where's the girl?
He took the gold, took the girl, too.
What?
He took Jane? You mean to tell me you let him take Jane?
Well, now, mister, there wasn't much choice. He held a shotgun on us, and they're gone before we could do a thing.
Oh, but this is impossible.
Now, take it easy, Mr. Carter. We'll find him.
You'll find him. You were out fishing when it happened. What kind of law is there around here anyway?
Easy, Mr. Carter.
I took one of the team after Marshal, but I couldn't get near him. He had an extra saddle horse with him. Put her on that.
I see.
But I don't think he planned on kidnapping that girl. Way it was, he just looked at her and told her to come along.
Did you recognize him, Jim?
No, Those horses are both sorrels.
By heaven, Marshal, you'd better get her back here at once, or I'll take this up with Washington. I'll see you disgraceful.
Shut up, Carter. Chester, go get our horses and a couple of rifles. I'll get a few more details from Jim here.
Well, don't you want a posse, Mr.
No,
Dillon?
there'd be too much shooting around that girl. Now, hurry, will you?
Yes, sir. I'll hurry, Mr. Dillon.
Mark my words. You'd better have Jane back here by nightfall, Marshal.
You
or else-
care to ride along, Mr. Carter?
No. No, I'm not equipped for that sort of thing. I'll take care of matters at this end.
Yeah. All right, now, Jim, now tell me first exactly what happened.
Well, we just come down into the draw about 100 yards from the creek.
The blood-red sun was drooping over the edge of the prairie when Chester and I reached Cottonwood Draw. We rode hard until night fell, and we had to stop and wait for daylight. But with morning, we drew a heavy rain that washed out every track. We rode on anyway. For the next 3 days, we scouted a big piece of that country. But it was hopeless. Finally, we headed back to Dodge, empty-handed. Bartender, bring me a bottle, will you?
Sure, Matt. Where is she, Marshal? Is she all right?
Carter, I'm sorry.
What? You mean you didn't find them?
Rain washed out their trail first morning. We never picked it up again. They could be anywhere.
You came back without her.
We did what we could, Carter. Now we'll just have to wait for word of some kind. You'll be seen sooner or later.
Wait. Well, I won't wait. This will cost you your job, Marshal. I promise you that.
Look, Carter, if it'd make you feel better, why don't you ride out yourself?
It isn't my job to keep the law around here, Marshal. It's yours.
Yeah.
Say, Marshal,
Yeah, what is it, Shiloh?
Big Kate wanted to see you when you got back. Asked me to tell you.
Big Kate? Oh, all right, thank you.
Come in. Oh. No luck, eh, Matt?
How'd you know, Kate?
I can tell by looking at you.
Yeah, it's thousands and thousands of miles, that prairie. It'd been just luck if we'd found them.
Nobody's blaming you, Matt.
No? Hey, Carter is. And I suppose it's hard on him. His fiancée and all that.
Carter's no good, Matt.
Well, I never liked him, but I suppose that doesn't matter.
And I'll tell you why he's no good.
Huh? You know something, Kate?
Carter's been drunk a lot while you were out. He was bragging to one of the girls last night.
Bragging? What, about what?
Not much, to my way of thinking.
Well, go on.
Well, to make it short, seems Jane's father got into a big deal with Carter up in Denver.
Yeah?
Carter got him tied up good and then threatened to ruin him.
Well, so what happened?
He didn't ruin him. He took Jane instead.
Yeah. Well, maybe she likes him.
You don't know much about women, do you, Matt? You think a Boughten bride is likely to be in love with the man?
So that's what I have to bring her back to.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
What can I do, Kate? Just have to wait and see what turns up. I waited a week. Carter was drunk the whole time, telling everybody how he was going to fix me good. But not doing much about it, except stay out of my way. And things were fairly quiet. Chester and I spent most of our time in the office.
Well, he sure fooled me, Mr. Dillon.
Now, Carter?
Yes, sir. He seemed like such a nice fella. And so rich.
He's rich, all right.
But poor in spirit.
You've been going to church again, Chester.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon, last Sunday.
Oh, last Sunday. Didn't it rain last Sunday?
Oh, I like church, Mr. Dillon. but I sure do hate to get all dressed up.
You the marshal?
Yeah, I am.
Here you've been looking for a man and a woman.
You know anything, mister?
My name's Chad Brown. Just rode in from Satana.
Yeah?
There was a man and a woman about 80 miles back on the trail.
What color horses were they on?
Well, as soon as they saw me, they rode off, so I didn't get very close. But both horses were the same color. I guess maybe so.
Yeah. Are you willing to ride back with me, Mr. Brown?
I don't know, Marshal. I've got an awful thirst.
That woman's out there against her will.
I'll go.
I'll get our horses.
No, Chester. Be better if you wait here this time. We'll be back in a few days. With luck. Let's go, Mr. Brown.
We will return for the second act of GunSmoke in just a moment. But first, Frank Fontaine now brings you comedy with 4 members of the Frank Fontaine family, guest stars, and a delightful cast of entertainers. Sunday nights on CBS Radio. Listen in for the Frank Fontaine Show tomorrow night. It's refreshing summer listening. So, just for fun, try the Frank Fontaine Show tomorrow night on CBS Radio. Now, the second act of GunSmoke.
Chad Brown and I covered the 80 miles in a day and a half. The Outlaws' trail headed south for a few miles and then turned northeast, back in the general direction of Dodge. It was hot and still. On the horizon, there were occasional flashes of heat lightning. And then in the distance, we saw the long, low cloud of yellow dust that spelled cattle. The Texas herd trailing north. The kidnappers' tracks led straight into it, and an hour later, we pulled up not far from the swing of the herd. A line of longhorns stretched for several miles across our trail. We watched them, looking for a lag to ride through. All of a sudden, a Ryder came hallooing down on us.
Hold up! Hold up there! Hold!
You ain't aiming to cross that herd, are you?
Have you seen anything of a man and a woman around here, mister?
Was they mounted?
Yeah, a couple of sorrels.
It don't matter. I ain't seen nothing but cattle and cowboys for 6 weeks. Besides, these cattle are plenty uneasy. They've been dry since yesterday morning. And that heat lightning ain't soothing to them.
This herd's crossed the trail of an outlaw and a kidnapped woman, mister.
That's so. Well, you just have to wait. You can ride around a drog back there, but you can't cut through this herd, mister.
Look, I'm a U.S. Marshal out of Dodge, and I haven't got any time to waste. You think we can...
Well, I sure appreciate your problem, Marshal, but I can't help you. I'm trail boss of this outfit, and I got 3,000 head of cattle here worth maybe $20 a head at Dodge. They're too nervy now, and I sure can't chance your touching them off by riding through there.
I guess he's right, Marshal. It'd be pretty risky from the look of them. They're moving too fast now.
Yeah, I know. Just that I hate to lose the time.
You got more time than I got cattle, Marshal.
Well, I don't know about that. But I won't tempt the stampede, mister. We'll ride around the drag. We'll see you in Dodge.
The Elephant still running?
Yeah, it is. Mostly on Texas money.
Adios.
We rode down along the herd and back up the other side, about a 4-mile detour. But we picked up the trail again and followed it till dark. Next morning, we found the outlaw still headed straight for Dodge, and all we could figure was that he must be new to the country and just plain lost. Naturally, he'd want to avoid asking questions of anybody. By noon, we were in sight of town, and during the last hour, neither Brown nor I said a word. Finally, we rode up Front Street and got down at the jail.
Dillon. We got 'em, Mr. Dillon. They rode right in here early this morning.
Gave himself up, huh?
Yes, sir. I got the man locked up in back, and the money is over at the bank.
Oh, good. How's the girl, Chester?
Oh, she's fine. A little tired, but fine.
Ah. Well, what's his story? Who is he?
He calls himself Scott Cooley, but he won't say anything more at all, Mr. Dillon. I just gave up on him. I thought I'd better wait for you.
All right. I'll talk to him first, and then I want to see the girl. Where is she?
I didn't like it, Mr. Dillon, but I didn't see what I could rightly do about it.
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, she sure didn't want to go with him, but that Mr. Carter came here and just the same as dragged her off. She went finally, but I sure don't like it.
Well, they didn't leave Dodge, did they?
Oh, no, sir. There's no train till tomorrow. They're at the hotel.
Oh, all right. I'll go over there later, Chester. Yeah, so you're Scott Cooley, huh? You're new around here, aren't you?
Well, anyways, I never saw you before, Marshal.
Well, I've tried hard enough to meet up with you, Cooley. You're in trouble, you know, bad trouble.
Marshal, you've got anything to say, just say it right out.
I got nothing to say. I'm just curious why you rode into Dodge, that's all.
What do you care? I'm here. You got the money back and...
And what?
Oh, leave me alone, Marshal. Just let me alone.
You gotta talk sometime.
Now, listen, Marshal. I'm ready to serve my time. That's why I gave myself up. But talk, no. I don't have to talk. Not for you. Not for anybody else.
Mm-hmm. All right, Cooley. Have it your way.
Marshal.
Yeah?
Marshal, you going to see Jane?
Yeah? Why?
Well, what are you going to see her about?
To find out what happened?
Yeah. Marshal, I don't suppose you'd let me out of here just long enough to kill Carter.
Now, you mean the girl told you about it?
I wouldn't care if I hang for it. It'd be worth it to kill him.
Mm-hmm. Tell me something. What makes you think what you did's any better?
What? You wouldn't understand, Marshal. But you do what you can for her, will you?
Anything else you want to tell me?
No, that's all.
Who is it?
Matt Dillon.
What do you want?
Open the door, Carter. I want to talk to the girl.
Some other time, Marshal.
You want me to kick the door open? You're asking for trouble, Carter. How do you do, miss? I'm Marshal Dillon.
How do you do, Marshal?
I know you've been through a lot, miss, but I have to get the whole story from you so as I can file the proper charges against this outlaw, Scott Cooley.
You want to use me to put him in prison? Is that it?
Well, he's committed 2 crimes, robbery and kidnapping. We'll want him up for both.
Well, doesn't the fact that he gave himself up and returned the money help at all?
I'm afraid I don't gather your drift.
Then let it go at that, Marshal. We're leaving Dodge on the next train. So Jane won't be here to testify anyway.
No? Is that what you have in mind, Jane?
Oh, no. I mean, I don't know. Oh, please.
She's upset enough. Marshal, leave her alone.
If I want anything out of you, Carter, I'll knock it out. Now shut up.
You can't talk to me like that.
Wait. Marshal, I'll tell you all about it, but first...
Yeah?
Well, not in front of him. Make him go out, and then I'll tell you.
All right, Carter. Outside.
Don't you order me around. This is my room, and...
I'll throw you out. If I open the door and find you around, I'll throw you all the way downstairs. Now get it! All right, now. Jane, you can talk.
Can I trust you, Marshal? Really trust you?
Well, that's up to you. But I'll tell you this, I know about Carter. About you and Carter, that is.
Then you know how I hate him.
Yeah? But right now I'm curious about this kidnapping. What happened? Why did Cooley give himself up?
Because we decided we couldn't live being hunted down the rest of our lives.
Ah, so you were in on it with him, huh?
No, Marshal. The first time I ever saw Scott Cooley was when he held up the stage.
I'd like to believe that.
Well, it's very simple, Marshal. I love Scott Cooley.
What?
I love him.
Oh, now look, Jane, girls like you just don't go around falling in love with outlaws.
Don't they, Marshal?
No, they don't.
I did.
Then either you're crazy or you're lying to me. And if you weren't a woman, I'd throw you in jail right along with him.
I'm a woman, Marshal, but I've no objection to going to jail with Scott.
No, then you admit you're his accomplice.
No. I suppose it's hard for you to understand, Marshal.
It is.
Well, I'll try to make it simple. You see, Scott doesn't know why he took me with him when he held up the stage. He's never done anything like that before. It just seemed perfectly natural to him. He saw something he wanted and he took it. That's all.
I'm afraid the court will look at it somewhat differently.
Well, I suppose he'll go to prison for the holdup, but not for kidnapping.
Why not?
Because I'll testify that I went with him of my own free will.
I almost wish you two hadn't ridden back to Dodge.
Marshal.
Yeah.
You said you know about Bob Carter and me.
Yeah?
Well, Scott's been wild and he's done wrong, but he's never done anything really evil.
Well, maybe you're better off with Cooley. If he straightens out.
You know I am. Don't you, Marshal?
It's no business of mine. I'm a peace officer, not a matchmaker. My job's to keep Cooley under arrest and get him up for trial, and that's all. Now, what you do is your own business. You can testify any way you like. I can't stop that.
Oh, please. Marshal, help me. There's no one else who can.
Yeah, who is it?
It's Carter. Open this door.
Well, gentlemen.
There are 4 of us here, Marshal. We figure you've talked to Jane long enough.
Yeah, I think I have, Mr. Carter.
You're leaving.
Yeah, we're leaving. Are you ready, Jane?
Oh, thank you, Marshal. Yes, I'm ready.
Jane isn't going with you.
I've just put her under arrest.
Under arrest?
I arrest anybody I think needs arresting, Mr. Carter, and I'm not in the habit of explaining why.
There's a law about that,
You're
Marshal.
in Dodge, Mr. Carter. Come along, Jane.
You can't do this, Dillon. We won't stand for it.
Ah, you're a fool, Carter. I know these 3 bums you got with you, and they don't want to draw on me any more than you do. You fed them some liquor and promised them more. For that, they'll do anything but face me in a gunfight. Am I right, boys? Huh? Well, I take it I am. All right, now get out of my way. You go first, Jane.
You stay here, Jane.
Take your hands off her, Mr. Just step over him, Jane.
Mr. Dillon, I don't like to say anything.
Well, then don't, Chester.
But I can't help it, Mr. Dillon. This is the first time you've ever jailed a woman, and I just don't like it.
Good.
What?
I don't like it either, Chester.
What's this all about, Mr. Dillon?
Chester, Jane and Cooley are in love.
My.
Don't look so dewy-eyed about it. Cooley's got to stand trial yet, you know.
I want no part of this, Marshal.
Now what, Shiloh?
I never did like that Carter.
Well, what's he up to?
Oh, sir, he's drunk and he's buying liquor for everyone. He's making a lot of talk. There's about 20 men with him now.
Where?
Texas Trail. Nobody likes it about this girl. Looks like they'll come over here and try to bust her out of jail.
Chester.
Yes, sir?
Those horses still out back?
Yes, sir. I was going to put them away later.
No, leave them. Now, will you get over to the Texas Trail and stall those men for a while? Huh?
All right, Mr. Dillon. Come on, Shiloh.
Not me. I'm going to bed. I got 2 drunk last night. That's the worst hit I...
Cooley,
Hmm?
come on out.
What is this,
Just
Marshal?
hurry it up, will you? Let's go, Jane.
Oh, no. Stay where you are, Jane. I don't
You'll do
like
what
this.
I tell you, Cooley.
It's all right, Scott. We can trust him.
Yeah, but I don't know what he's
Scott.
got. Well, all right, Jane, if you say so.
All right, now out back. Here, that way. Now, come on, let's move. All right, you take the gray horse, Jane. He's gentle enough. But hurry, will you? Come here. Come on, boy.
Where are we going, Marshal?
We're going to Hayes City. Cooley's going to stand trial there.
Yeah,
They got the money back, Scott. They can't do much to you.
I know. But there's that kidnapping, too.
I won't testify. That's all.
Jane, you're going to have to testify. You'll be in contempt of court if you refuse.
Then I'll lie. Anyway, I did go of my own free will. After a while, anyway.
That's perjury. But you don't have to do that either. There's an easier way.
How?
Well, before I deposit Cooley in the Hayes City jail, we might just make a little stop.
What do you mean, Marshal? Stop where?
We're going to stop at the preacher's. You know, a married woman can't testify against her husband.
Scott. Scott.
Come on, honey, let's ride.
GunSmoke, transcribed under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was especially written for GunSmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in tonight's cast were John Stevenson, Larry Dobkin, and Patricia Walter, with Mary Lansing, Herb Ellis, Jonathan Hole, Jim Nusser, and Frank Gerstle. Parley Bear is Chester. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in GunSmoke. Tomorrow, a new feature is added to CBS Radio's On a Sunday Afternoon program when Eddie Gallagher introduces the Main Street Music Hall, with handsome Bob Carroll and pretty Eugenie Baird as your singing stars. On a Sunday Afternoon is heard on most of these same CBS radio stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking. And remember, daytime is a gay time with Arthur Godfrey on the CBS Radio Network.
Ranch and Gene Autry.
I'm back in the saddle again, out where a friend is a friend, where the longhorn cattle feed on the lowly Jimson weed. I'm back in the saddle again.
That's right, folks. It's another visit with all the gang here at Melody Ranch. There's Pat Buttram, the Cass County Boys, the Gene Autry Blue Jeans, Carl Cotner's Melody Ranch Hardway 6 featuring Alvino Ray, and yours truly, Charlie Lyon. Right now, though, meet the boss man himself, America's favorite cowboy, Gene Autry.
Deep within my heart lies a melody, a song of old San Antone, where in dreams I live with a memory, beneath the stars all alone. It was there I found beside the Alamo enchantment strange as the blue up above, a moonlit path that only she would know still hears my broken song of love. Moon in all your splendor, know only my heart, call back my rose, rose of San Antone. Lips so sweet and tender, like petals falling apart, speak once again of my love, my own. Broken song, empty words I know, still live in my heart all alone. For that moonlit path by the Alamo, and rose, my rose of San Antone. Song, empty words I know, still live in my heart all alone. For that moonlit path by the Alamo, and rose, my rose of San Antone. Well, howdy there, friends and neighbors, and come right on into Melody Ranch. Yes, sir, the whole gang's waiting to say hello. Friends and neighbors, here's a new tune that we hope you're going to like. It's called Gone Away Is All the Love That We Once Knew. Gone away are all the hours I spent with you. When you said that you were leaving, I thought you'd soon return, but many lonely nights have gone, and all I do is yearn. Gone away is everything that I hold dear. Gone away are moments when I held you near. I'm left here with an empty dream. There's nothing I can do. There'll be no more tomorrows. They've gone away with you. Gone away is everything that I hold dear. Gone away are moments when I held you near. I'm left here with that empty dream. There's nothing I can do. There'll be no more tomorrows. They're gone away with you. Well, thank you very much, friends. And now if you'll all step over to the bunkhouse with me, Pat Buttram's supposed to be doing some spring cleaning. Well, let's see how he's making out.
Dum-dee-dee-dum-dum-dee. Get out of here, you ornery little... excuse me, Mr. Artery. I thought it was that darn shorty back again.
What's all that stuff you got piled up there in the middle of the floor?
Plain old junk that these cowpokes have been accumulating in here. I found these 2 books under Pete's bed. One of them is entitled What Every Young Man Should Know, and the other one is What Every Young Woman Should Know.
Why, both of them?
Well, I guess he figures if you're going to ask questions, you ought to know the answers.
Oh, stop being foolish. Finish your cleaning, will you? I need you for something else.
Something else. Something else.
Yes, something else.
You'd think I was triplets or something around here. Don't anybody else ever do anything around
Now,
this
just
place?
a minute, Pat. Just a minute. We all do our part at Melody Ranch. Now, Johnny Bond is up at 4 every morning, rides 20 miles into town to get feed and supplies, and rides 20 miles back to get everything put away. Well, now, I get up to see that the stock is all taken care of, that the men get their chow on time, and everything is in tip-top shape.
Why, I never give it a thought. Up at 5 a.m., clean out the barn, milk 15 cows, water 35 horses, carry the feed to 66 pigs, gather in the crops, and mend the fences.
You do all of that?
No, I said I just never give it a thought.
That's just about what I figured. Well, how about giving me a little thought here? Dust that furniture. Pete's been telling me that the dust is so thick that he can write his name on the tabletop.
Mr. Artery, that ain't true.
It ain't?
It ain't true at all. You know Pete can't write. Now, complaints, always complaints.
Look, Pat, look. I'm not riding you. I like you, buddy. I think you're one of the most dependable men around here.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. Anything I hate, it's a quitter.
All right. Let's cut the chatter out and get to work.
Sorry, Mr. Artery, I'm through for the day. I got to get dressed up. I got an appointment in Sagebrush to do some mother sitting tonight.
Mother sitting?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, you know what babysitting is.
Yeah?
Same principle, more fun. So long, Mr. Artery. So long.
Well, so long, Patrick. I don't know what we'd do without him around here, and I don't intend to find out. Now let's give a listen to an invitation from the Cass County Boys and the Blue Jeans.
Y'all come, y'all come, y'all come see us when you can. Y'all come, y'all come, y'all come see us now and then. When you live in the country, everybody is your neighbor. On that one thing you can rely.
They all come to see you, and before they leave you, they say, y'all come to see us by and by.
Y'all come,
Y'all come,
y'all come,
y'all come,
y'all come to see us when you can.
y'all come,
Y'all come,
y'all come,
y'all come, y'all come to see us now and then. Oh, the kinfolks are coming, they're coming by the dozen, eating everything from soup to hay.
hide the rooster. And right after dinner, they ain't looking any thinner. And here's what you'll hear them say.
Y'all come,
Chicken and dumpling.
y'all come,
Ain't that something?
y'all come to see us when you can.
Y'all come,
Cider jug,
y'all come,
cut a rug, y'all come to see us now and then.
Oh, thank you, Cass County Boys and gals. Dry the tears from your blue, blue eyes. Skies are gray when my baby cries. Don't believe all those jealous lies. Dry the tears from your blue, blue eyes. Why are your eyes of blue, so blue tonight? What have I done to make you cry? Don't you know everything will turn out right? Someone told you a jealous lie. Dry the tears from your blue, blue eyes. Skies are gray when my baby cries. Don't believe all those jealous lies. Dry the tears from your blue, blue eyes. Well, thank you, gang. Thanks a lot.
Hey, I got something to ask you, Mr. Artery.
Well, that sounds familiar. What is it this time?
Who you going to vote for governor this year?
Well, there's a couple of good men running. Why'd you ask?
Oh, I just wondered. This is a mighty important election, you know.
Every election's important, Patrick, whether it's for the school board or president of the United States. Yes, sir, there's no such thing as an unimportant election in America. You know, we had a pretty good example of that right here in Sagebrush only a few years back.
I don't think I remember what you're talking about.
Well, if you just grab yourself your favorite rawhide bottom chair, I'll tell you. Just like this year, we had to elect somebody for all the local offices. But the activity of the sheriff's race seemed to outshine all the others. And the big question was, would Tom Dillon be reelected? Tom had been sheriff for more years than a lot of us could remember. And he was a little slow, maybe, and his methods were kind of old-fashioned. But nobody could say he wasn't honest. His opponent was a young fellow named Brad Miller. It wasn't till about a week before the election that I got a good chance to watch young Miller in action as a candidate. All the Melody Ranch gang went with me over to the picnic grounds, Crestline Reservoir, for an all-day speaking and dinner on the ground. It so happened that Brad Miller was the last speaker on the platform.
And so you can see, friends, that I like old Tom Dillon, too. And he was a good sheriff. In his day, that is. But what this county needs right now is a system of up-to-date police methods. My friend, enough of this speech-making. Those of you who want a square dance, get yourselves a partner and fill up the platform. All right, boys, start the music.
Well, Election Day rolled around, and with it a big turnout, thanks to Brad Miller's free transportation service. He must have had 20 rigs carrying people to town. The next morning after the election, our paper, the Sagebrush Sentinel, read, Miller elected county sheriff. Well, just as you might know, Tom Dillon had never had a bigger disappointment. And we didn't see much of him for a few weeks. Not until one night about 1 o'clock when somebody woke me up knocking at the front door. Why, hello, Tom. Come on in.
I sure hate to get you up this time of night, Gene, but I got a bad case of suspicionitis. Gene, if it ain't asking too much, I wish you'd saddle up Champion and go for a little ride with me.
As soon as Tom Dillon and I got started, he began to tell me what was bothering him. After all those years in office, you get to know people pretty well. So, in the interest of all the people in the county, Tom decided he'd just try to help the new sheriff keep his promises. But he'd run across some things he didn't quite understand. Does sound a little odd, Tom. But what exactly do you think's wrong?
Well, up ahead a little ways, I think maybe you'll see what I'm talking about. There. Yes, sir. There it is. Now, you see that big truck and trailer with the moonshine on it? I've run across it there a couple of times.
Yeah, I see it. I wonder if he's in trouble.
Well, there's one way to find out.
Oh, champ.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Need any help, mister?
Oh, thanks. Just ride on, cowboys. Everything's under control.
We'll be glad to go on into town and send out a garage man if you want.
I said everything's okay. Now beat it, will you? Hey, now, wait a minute.
That's all right. Let's go, Tom.
Better listen to your sidekick there, Matt. Okay. That's the way you feel about it. Come on, Gene.
Right. Pull in behind that clump of trees as soon as we round this next bend, Tom.
What in thunder are you up to, Gene?
Well, just do as I say. You find out. Oh, Tom. Oh, boy. Unless I'm going deaf, I heard voices in that trailer. And they weren't speaking any language native to North America. After Tom and I had talked it over, we decided not to do anything more that night. The next morning, it seemed to be best that I go to the sheriff's office alone.
Now, Autry, you can't expect me to believe a half-cocked story like that. A van full of foreigners parked on a highway at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, that just isn't reasonable.
Maybe not, Sheriff Miller. But the border's only a few hours from here. And I've heard that lots of people from all over the world are trying to enter the United States these days.
Well, I know, but just the same, I hardly think you'd be... Oh, excuse me, lad. Hello, sheriff's office. Long distance from where? Okay, put them on. Yeah, this is Sheriff Miller. Well, yeah, if it's important, to go ahead. P76, R34, J11, D13, T23. Okay, I got it. Yeah. That was just the sheriff from Pine City reading me some warrant numbers.
Oh? Well, I know you're busy, Sheriff. If I hear anything more, I'll let you know.
Yeah, sure. Drop in anytime, Autry. Anytime.
Well, what'd you say, Gene?
Tom, where'd they put that new phone booth in here at the courthouse?
It's right at the end of this hall, but
Come on, let's hurry.
What'd Miller say?
I'll tell you as soon as I make this phone call, Tom. Hello, operator? Will you get me Sheriff Stone in Pine City? Right. Here you are. Hello. Hello, Sheriff. Gene Autry. Well, fine. How about yourself? Well, that's good. Say, Sheriff, did you just take a call to Sheriff Miller from Sagebrush? Well, thanks, Sheriff. That's all I wanted to know. No? I'll tell you the next time I see you. Okay. Bye.
Gene, will you please tell me what's going on?
Right now, we've got a lot of work to do, and fast. Okay, now let's see. P76 is the first number, right?
All right.
And we figured that P76 might mean passengers or persons. For now, let's say that's right. What's next?
R34. R. Rifles? Raid? Route? Race?
Wait a minute, Tom. What did you say just before race?
Why, route, I guess. But what's that got to do with it?
Isn't 34 the number of the main highway from here to Red Man's Valley?
Hey, that's right, it is. Then R has to mean Route 34.
Well, it doesn't have to, but it could. Now, what's the next number you've got there?
J11.
J. Could stand for junction. Junction 11.
I'll be, yes. Route 34, Junction 11. Why, that's just beyond the Juan Sanchez Ranch.
Now, what else could a code tell a man?
Well, now...
The time, for one thing, wouldn't you say?
Yes. Well, now, let's see here. The last letter's T. T23. Oh, Gene, there ain't no such time as 23.
Now, wait a minute, Tom.
Huh?
The Air Force uses a 24-hour clock. That way, instead of starting all over again at 12 noon with the number 1, they don't have to say a.m. or p.m. So then 23 means 11 p.m.
Well, is that what this means?
Yeah. Then all we need is the date. What's the date today, Todd?
It's the 13th. Hey, so is this number, D13.
Well, what are we waiting for? It's 9 o'clock now.
That means we've only got 2 hours.
Right. Grab that 40-odd and let's go.
What time you got, Joe?
11:17.
Wonder where he is.
Here he comes.
I'm sorry I'm late. I got held up in town.
That's okay. Where'll we unload this bunch?
In a barn, about 3 miles up. Another truck will pick them up at 3 this morning and take them the rest of the way.
Okay. You lead out.
Oh, wait a minute. First, have you got the dough?
I almost forgot. Sheriff. Nice haul this time, too.
Not bad. Oh, yeah, you better lay low on this route for a while. A cowboy named Autry may be getting a little wise.
Right. We don't want to take any chances. We'll make this the last trip for a week or 2.
It'll be your last trip for longer than that, boy.
Hey, Autry, get it, boy!
Don't draw, Miller.
Nice shooting, Gene.
Why, you small-town vigilantes can't do anything to me.
If my memory serves me right, Miller, for smuggling aliens into this country, you could get put away for quite a few years. And all the proof we need's right there in that truck.
That's a good story, Gene. Of course, Tom Dillon went back into office as the Sagebrush sheriff, huh?
You betcha, the very next day. And he wasn't even late to work. Which goes to show you, like the motto on Tom's own desk, honesty is the best policy.
My grandpa had a motto that he always used. He said, keep a boy a-washing a hog, and you keep him out of mischief. And besides, you get a mighty clean hog that way.
Well, Porky, I think you'd better get out of here and curl your beard. Good friends and neighbors, in the spirit of the day, for all it means, here is my buddy. Nights are long since you went away. I think about you all through the day, my buddy, my buddy. Nobody quite so true. Miss your voice, the touch of your hand. Just long to know that you understand, my buddy, my buddy. Your buddy misses you.
Nights are long since you went away. I dream about you all through the day.
My buddy, my buddy. Nobody quite so true. Miss your voice, the touch of your hand. Just long to know that you understand, my buddy, my buddy. Your body misses you. If I'm not mistaken, the Cass County Boys and the Blue Jeans are just about to sing one of my very favorite spirituals. Kids?
Way up yonder on the mountain top,
Way up in the middle of the air,
my Lord spoke and the chariot stopped.
way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel
turning
way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel way in the middle of the air.
Joshua was the son of Nun,
Way up in the middle of the air,
he never quit till the work was done.
way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel spinning way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel way in the middle of the air.
Now you see that sister dressed so fine.
Way up in the middle of the air,
She ain't got religion on her mind.
way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel turning way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel way in the middle of the air. Oh, the big wheel run by faith, and the little wheel run by the grace of God. 'Twas a wheel in a wheel way in the middle of the air.
Kids, that was really great. We'd like to sing for you a song we feel deserves the honor and distinction of being called a cowboy classic. Such a song, at least in our opinion, is this lonely but beautiful cowboy lament. Riding the range all day, holding the reins all day, riding until my bones are weary, never a change all day. Cattle and plains all day, neath the blistering sun, lots of work to be done while cattle graze.
While cattle graze,
When they're on the run and a stampede's begun, my saddle sways, rounding up strays. I'm riding the range all day, dance acting strange all day. Guess that he knows my days are dreary, riding the range all day, riding my life away, riding, riding the range all day.
America's favorite cowboy, Gene Autry, will be back this way next week. And he'll bring along Pat Buttram, the Cass County Boys, the Gene Autry Blue Jeans, Carl Cotner's Melody Ranch Hardway 6 featuring Alvino Ray, and yours truly, Charlie Lyon. For an exciting and entertaining half hour, be sure you're listening next time I say, it's time for Melody Ranch and Gene Autry.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Middle-aged woman who stood outside the Texas saloon, listening, until suddenly she twisted away as if running from the violence brewing within.
Fill the piano, Eddie. Has things to say.
If it's more of the same, Vernon, you'd better strap on a pistol, because I'm not going to take it.
You don't have to take it now, Mr. Hardesty. There's ways of settling things without using guns.
Yes, and you've been planning on that, haven't you, Damon? You've been hungering to use those big muscles of yours, ape that you are.
You got a reputation for being good with your own muscles as well as your newspaper, Mr. Hardesty. Why don't we go out in the street right now and settle what's between us?
Hey, Newt, I got a feeling Mr. Hardesty don't want no part of anything like that.
You came here well supported, didn't you, Damon? Hope Myers on one side of you, Chuck Blount on the other. But you're wearing a .45, Hope. You're going to have to use it if you make any more noise like that.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Let it, Hope. Mr. Hardesty's my pigeon. We know you're good with a gun, Mr. Hardesty. But I always heard you was good with your fists, too. Of course, that might have just been talk. And talk's cheap, ain't it?
All right, Damon, you get your way. Let's go outside and settle this.
Thank you, Mr. Hardesty. I've been waiting a long time to hear you say them words.
I swear, Hoppy, you must be plumb slowing down. Here we ride 60 miles to get to town, and you head straight for the post office.
The main reason we came in, wasn't it? So we could mail this letter. I'm going in and get it done.
Well, you've been dating Hopalong Cassidy in California. Yeah.
Hi, lad.
Ouch! What the blazes is that? Almost tripped me in my ear.
Better watch your step, California. That's a keg of blasting powder.
Blasting powder? What's it doing here?
Oh, that stubborn old mossback of a Clem Phoebe's brought it in. Wanted me to ship it to Elby for him. When I said the U.S. mail don't handle no explosives, he like to flew through the roof. Then he walked out and left it here. Guess he figures if he leaves it long enough, I'll give in and handle it for him. He's going to find out the U.S. mail is just as stubborn as he is.
Ain't you taking chances leaving that stuff around?
No, ain't nothing can happen to blasting powder unless somebody sets it off. I ain't worrying none.
Well, you've got to live with it. What's that you're opening?
Reward poster. Just come in. What was it you wanted, Hoppy?
A stamp for this letter.
Oh, well, here you are. Paste it on, drop it in the slot there.
Let's see that poster. Fellow looks like a dude.
Don't sound like no dude, though. Listen to this. Wanted for post office robbery. James Carlisle, age 26. Armed and dangerous. Shoots left-handed, is fast and deadly. Send information to United States Postal Inspector, Dodge City, Kansas.
$500 reward. That ain't bad fishing. If you'd win for reward.
No, it ain't. Here, California. Let me get by you so that I can tack this thing up on that board there.
How's Dan Sebastian, Lige? Is he still marshal on this side of the line?
Yeah, he's still marshal. With Steve Lewis running the law in another portion of town. And they ain't no better friends than they ever was. You know, I always claim we'll never have no peace here till we go whole hog into either Texas or Oklahoma. Killer can burn a man down on one side of the street and get away from the law by just stepping over to the other.
Well, like it is. Ain't no town like Blackton then for excitement. Come on, Poppy, let's go.
Well, another day.
You closing up, Lige?
Yep, I'm closing up. Once I throw that bolt, nobody else comes in. Even the president himself couldn't get that rule broken. Well, I got some work to finish up here. So long, boys.
So long, Lige.
Hopalong Cassidy. I knew I saw you ride into town.
Hello, Mrs. Fife. We were just...
You're a friend of Matt Hardesty's, ain't you?
Matt Hardesty? Sure, I'm his friend.
Well, you better help him then. He's been talked into a fight with Newt Damron. A fist fight.
A fist fight? Well, that's only a couple of weeks when Hardesty was thrown from a horse.
Don't I know it? But those men don't seem to care. And if you don't help him out of it, that Newt Damron will just beat him to death.
Now, back to Hopalong Cassidy and our story, The Bandit of Blackton Bend. In Blackton Bend, Matt Hardesty, publisher of the local newspaper, stands in danger of being badly beaten by brutal Newt Damron. Hoppy, knowing that Hardesty isn't physically fit for a fight, hurries to his friend's aid.
Before we start this brawl, would anybody like to bet on Mr. Hardesty's chances?
Never mind the speeches, Damon. Just get your fists up.
No hurry, Mr. Hardesty. I ain't of a mind to hurry with you at all. I'm going to take care of your eyes first, and I'm going to work on the rest of that pretty face of yours. But I ain't going to be in no hurry about it.
Let's stop the gloating and get started.
No use asking him to do that, Matt. Dammit would rather gloat than eat. Wouldn't you, Newt?
Cassidy, what do you want?
You set on having this fight, Matt?
It isn't of my choosing, Hoppy. Dameron's the one who's set on it.
Newt can be talked out of things like that. Can't you, Newt?
Stay out of this, Cassidy.
Hardesty's my friend. He has no business fighting anyone with his fists. Matt was thrown from a horse a couple of weeks ago, and he's not over it yet.
Now, ain't that real sympathetic? Maybe you'd like to take his place.
I'm not begging for the chance, Newt. You make it mighty tough for any man you fight. I came into town for fun, not bruises.
Then back off and let Hardesty and me settle this thing.
Why not just check the bet?
Because I wouldn't like it that way.
But I would. And I'm set on making my point.
You hear that, Newt? He's set on making his point. He's wearing guns to push it.
Who's your friend, Newt? I believe I know him.
Hoke Myers, Hoppy. He's a gunman from the border country.
I can speak for myself. I ain't backward. I'm saying you ain't stopping this brawl, Cassidy.
Stop working yourself up, Hope. There's nothing gnawing on you that a cool drink won't cure.
Now that I think of it, I'm glad you moved in on this. You're a big man around here, ain't you? Got quite a reputation for yourself.
What are you looking for, Hoke? A cheap kill? You won't find any bargains in this town. You could even get the short end of the trade. And that's a mighty permanent condition.
A big man with a big reputation. Well,
I'm asking you not to try it, Hope.
I'm blasting that reputation. Here and now. No. Hold me up, Newt. Oh, I got you, Hope.
Might as well lay him down, Newt. Might as well lay him down gently. Sorry, Hope. There just aren't any bargains in this town. Come on, California. Let's go over to Ma Feist for the lodging.
One thing, Hoppy. Watch out for Dameron. He generates a lot of hate, and he's going to turn it all on you. Take care of yourself.
That's the whole list, Bart, except for some chewing tobacco for Chunky the cook. We'll pick it all up first thing in the morning. See you later. Oh, excuse me, ma'am. I just wasn't watching where I was going.
You certainly weren't, Hoppy.
Hello, Mr. Hardesty. I'm really sorry about bumping the young lady.
I'm sure it's all right. Miss Carlyle, this is Hopalong Cassidy.
How do you do?
How do you do, ma'am?
Haven't seen my son around, have you, Hoppy?
I was with him half an hour ago. Left him at the Colorado Saloon.
Come to think of it, maybe you're a better bet for what we want.
Better bet?
Hopalong Cassidy knows that country we were just discussing, Miss Carlyle. He could probably do more for you than anyone else.
But would he?
Help? I never heard him turn anybody down yet. Hell, would you walk over to the Clarion office with us, Cassidy? There's something we'd like to talk over with you. And that's the gist of it, Hoppy. This boy is Miss Carlyle's brother. Back in Dodge City, they have positive proof he didn't commit the crime that put him on the run.
If you could only see him, you'd know that, Mr. Cassidy.
I've already seen your brother's photograph, Miss Carlyle.
You have? Where?
On a reward poster put out for the postal department.
Oh, so it's come to that. But I swear Jim had nothing to do with the robbery. He's headstrong, wild even. He's always been ready to fight. But he'd never commit a robbery.
How do you figure I could help?
You know that Rim Rock country, Hoppy. That's where we think he's hiding out.
How do you know?
Well, Jim got a letter through to me describing where he is. Mr. Hardesty recognized the spot from my description of it. If you could find Jim for me and tell him to come home, I'd be everlastingly grateful. I'm afraid that if Jim keeps on the run, he might do something desperate.
You want me to talk him into going back to Dodge City? Maybe even standing trial?
Oh, tell him he won't even have to stand trial. I can promise him that.
All right. If I can find him, I'll talk to him.
I knew you'd say that, Hoppy.
And now, if you don't mind, I'll run along.
I wish you'd come into town oftener, Hoppy. Maybe you could straighten things out for Matt and me.
Matt seems to be fretting about something. Acts as though he's under a strain.
Guess the paper hasn't been the financial success that Matt expected. Probably because I've been playing the reformer a little too heavily. Maybe I've been stubborn about it.
I begun to realize that reform editorials can cost the paper friends and business.
I guess that stuff is sort of like giving people medicine. Something they ought to have, but they hate like blazes to take it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I've been impatient. I wanted to see it come in my time, but... Oh!
Good heavens, what was that?
Here, let me help you up. You all right, sir?
I'm all right, but that was an explosion, Cassidy.
Hey, Pete, what happened?
Post office. Just blew all the smithereens. The post office? And Lige Watkins hasn't been by on his way home. He must have been in it.
Now, back to Hopalong Cassidy and the Bandit of Blackton Bend. A heavy explosion has just jarred Blackton Bend, bringing everyone in town panting to the scene. And now a mass of smoldering embers serves as the total remains of what had once been a United States post office.
How about it, Marshal? What's the story on Lige Watkins? Well, it's bad. He was waiting to put his shipment of money on the stage.
Then he's in there. He's in there.
Well, we found it, Marshal.
The body?
Yeah, it's old Lige, all right.
You better take Mrs. Fife away.
Tom Levitt recognized that elk's tooth Lige always wore in his watch chain.
Well, how about the box?
No sign of it. We went through them embers like rats through a grain bin. What's this about a box, Marshal?
A metal chest that was scheduled to go out on tonight's stage.
Money in it?
About 10,000 in bills.
What's that, Marshal? What's that about money?
Begins to look like this was a robbery, Mr. Hardesty, with the thief covering himself by blowing up the place.
Which would make it murder as well as robbery.
That's right. I don't have an idea in the world as to who might have done it.
I have an idea. I have a good idea.
No, Mr. Hardesty,
I'm
no.
sorry, young lady, but murder is murder. And
But I told you about my brother was in confidence.
I can't condone murder, Miss Carlyle. No matter under what condition I heard your story.
What is this?
I know the suspect, Marshal.
No, Mr. Hardesty, don't tell him.
The man who's hiding up in the Rimrock country. He was accused of a post office robbery in Dodge City only a few weeks ago.
But he didn't do it. I explained about that to
And
him.
I'm afraid I can no longer accept your story.
Want to get a posse started, Marshal?
I guess we'd better. Start rounding up men, Pete.
All right.
Matt, we'll go. How about it, Hoppy? You know that Rimrock country.
Well, all right, Marshal.
Mr. Cassidy, you're my only hope. There's something you've got to see before you go. Please. Please come to the boarding house. I can give you proof about my brother.
But the way it looks.
Please.
All right. Marshal, I'll need a few minutes.
All right, Hoppy. We'll be gathering in front of the saloon, the Texas. Don't take long. The sooner we start, the better chance we have of coming up with that fella.
You've just got to talk those men out of the idea that Jim did this. If they come up to him, he'll fight. And then they'll kill him.
Maybe he can be talked out of fighting. I'd better take off my guns. You know, Ma Fife won't stand for guns coming into her house.
I have the letter upstairs, Mr. Cassidy. If you'll wait in the parlor. You will wait, won't you?
Sure, I'll wait.
We'll be in a minute. How about you, Mr. Hardesty? You coming with us?
Not I, Marshal. I'm too old for such acrobatics. Now bring that fella back.
How you want him? Dead or alive?
Where's Hopalong Cassidy?
Ain't showed up yet, Marshal. Maybe he don't want to show up.
He knows that country. We need him.
Well, I'll get him for you. I know right where he is.
Thought I'd get a slicker, Marshal, and a little food. Well, that's a good idea. Might be a long pull.
Where's Hoppy?
He'll be along. I just sent Newt Damron for him. You sent who? Damron. Why? Well, has he been deputized? Yeah, I deputized him, but...
Then go on. And get over to Fife's boarding house, quick.
Cassidy, come on, you're holding up the party. I'll be along, Damon, in just a few minutes.
Now, you ain't got nothing to do that's that important.
Hey, you ain't wearing your guns.
Nobody wears guns in this house. My wife won't. It's on your mind, Dameron.
So you ain't wearing guns. You don't think I'm going to pass up a chance like this, do you?
Meaning what?
I'm a deputy marshal. All legal-like. I was sent to bring you over to the posse. Now, if you say you won't come, you're resisting an officer, and that gives me the right to...
I haven't said I wouldn't come.
I didn't hear it that way, Cassidy. I didn't hear it that way at all.
You're excited over nothing, man. Whoa, boy, whoa. Well, here we are now.
They're fighting in there.
Well, then separate them. You must have been right, man. Here, somebody help me get my heft off this man. Here comes Hoppy now. What happened, Cassidy? Did Dameron...
Nothing serious, Dan. Gun went off by accident. Luke and I did a little scuffle for it.
You sure that's how it was? Well, let's get going. We got a manhunt on and an all-night ride ahead of us. Let's get going.
Here's the draw, Marshal. The shack will be about a quarter of a mile up.
Well, we made it before daybreak. Now, if he's only there, hold it, boy, hold.
Yeah, that's it, Marshal.
Hold it down, Dameron. Sound will carry up that draw like fire.
Okay. What are we going to do?
If that fellow's in there, we're up against a dangerous man. He's robbed a post office and committed murder. If we take him with gunplay, some of us are liable to get it. So I'd like to take him before he knows what's up. Well, how, Marshal? Well, we need a man to snake up that draw, and another one to go by way of the ledge there. I'd take one of them myself, but I'm too heavy to be much good. So I'll take the first two volunteers.
I'll take the draw.
I'll take the ledge.
You, Dameron? Oh, I don't know. I want cooperation. And you fought with Cassidy.
Said you'd take the first two volunteers. It's my right.
Well, all right. You'll get there first, Hoppy. So wait a few minutes before you move in. Any gunfire will bring us all up. Now, remember, both of you, this fellow's a killer. We've made noise, and he could know we're here, so...
Watch out for that knife in the dark, Newt.
Watch out for that left-handed draw, Hoppy. You both ready?
I am.
Me too.
Go ahead, then. And good luck to both of you.
Who's there?
Don't move. You're covered.
Who are you? What do you want?
I want to help you, so keep your voice down. Are you Jim Carlisle?
Well, yes, but I...
Your sister Ellen's in Blackton Bend. She told me about you. Right now, there's a posse closing in on this shack. They're out to get you for blowing up the Blackton post office.
I didn't do it. I haven't even been in town.
I know that now, but take it easy. There's a lot of moonlight, and we're going to have to get out of here in a hurry, so...
You ain't going nowhere. Either of you. Got them guns, Cassidy. Drop 'em. Got here sooner than you thought, didn't I, Cassidy? How do you think the boys are going to feel about you after this? Let's see now. The man ain't quite safe with two prisoners. I think I'll just tap you to sleep, Cassidy, with this gun.
You got him. Man, what a punch.
You've had it coming to him for a long time. Shame he had to get it doing law enforcement work.
He's out cold.
We better be getting away. That shot is going to bring the posse here in a hurry. Come on.
Well, now what?
This is Mrs. Spice's boarding house. Your sister's here.
Are you sure you don't want me to come in with you?
It's better if I go alone. I might not find what I expect. So it'd be a good idea if you got ready to make a run for it.
In that case, things will be tough for you, too, won't they?
I might be able to talk my way out of it.
You're doing a lot for me, Cassidy. I won't forget it. My sister won't forget it either.
Maybe we'll all be lucky. I'll see you.
I just got in town, too. Guess I should have started back sooner.
You must have remembered what you said.
Yes, I remembered. But not soon enough.
Not soon enough to get here and really hide that box.
No, not soon enough for that. It's still in the house, Hoppy.
Then they'll find it.
They will if you tell them.
I have to tell them, Matt. It's another man's life.
Or mine.
I've had to think about that, too. And the fact that we've been friends.
You haven't asked me why I did it.
That's your affair.
If it weren't for Carlyle, you wouldn't concern yourself.
Carlyle and Lige Watkins.
Lige had lived most of his life, Hoppy. And this kid can get away. I'll help him.
And you and I, we can never look each other in the eyes, Matt.
Time heals many things, Hoppy.
It wouldn't help young Carlyle. He'd spend his life a hunted man.
I had to do it, Hoppy. I've been gambling too
You
much.
couldn't help that. I can't help this.
Well, there are stronger things than justice. I'm your friend.
I find it hard to believe, Matt, with you holding that shotgun across your knees.
Self-preservation, Hoppy. It's the strongest force in the world.
Even stronger than friendship, Matt?
Even stronger than friendship. I'm sorry, Hoppy, but I'm afraid you've made it a matter of you or me, so... Oh! You got me. You were too fast, after all.
You're not badly hurt.
Why, you...
No, Matt. Make another move for that shotgun, and I'll have to kill you.
But they're here.
Yeah, they're here. I have my regrets, too, Matt. Deep, deep regrets.
Now, back to Hopalong Cassidy and the Bandit of Blackton Bend.
Well, stage is ready to leave, sir. Better climb in.
Goodbye, Mr. Cassidy.
Hope you know how I feel, Hoppy. I don't seem to have the words to say it.
Good luck to both of you.
All ready down there?
All set, driver.
Okay, head up there. Ha! Ha! Well, there they go, all smiling and sassy.
Yeah, nice to see.
Wouldn't have been like that if it weren't for you, Hoppy. How'd you figure Matt Hardesty for the killer end?
Was that reward poster.
A reward poster?
Lige Watkins closed the post office when we left, remember? And you never said anything about that poster, did you?
Oh, not a word. Never thought of it.
I figured not. So outside of Lige, only 3 people could have known what was on it. You and I and the man who saw it later. When he murdered Lige for that money. So out at Rimrock, Matt Hardesty gave himself away by mentioning the information that had been on the poster. When he warned me to watch out for Carlyle's left-handed draw.
Well, I'll be doggone.
So will I. Come on, California, let's hit the trail.
And so Hoppy proved to the unbelieving Bandit of Blackton Bend that justice is stronger than friendship. In our next story, Hoppy and California set out on a week of gestation in Lothan. But little do they expect they will get no rest from action and danger when they meet up with a lady who wants to be a timber queen. Don't miss Hopalong Cassidy's next thrilling adventure, Hook, Line, and Murder. Hopalong Cassidy, starring William Boyd, is transcribed and produced in the West by Walter White, Jr. The Bandit of Blackton Bend was written by Buckley Angel, with original music under the personal direction of Albert Glasser. All stories are based upon the characters created by Clarence E. Mulford. This is a Commodore production.
The trail followed by Red Ryder and Little Beaver in tracking down Ace Hanlon leads them now into the short grass country of the high plains. And Red Ryder wonders what new business Hanlon can be up to since his lucky escape from the cabin in Bear Canyon. Red Ryder and Little Beaver come to the edge of a high mesa overlooking Frying Pan Valley.
Oh, thunder. Well,
Little Beaver, if Ace Hanlon is holed up in that valley down there, he isn't going to get rich in a hurry. It's all right for cattle, but not enough water for farming.
Down there, me see 'em farms. Look, farmers make 'em fence.
You're right, Little Beaver. You never miss a thing with those sharp eyes of yours. Say, now, that is peculiar. On one side of the valley is a cattle ranch. On the other side, some mighty poor-looking farms. Sure enough, those men with the wagons are putting up a barbed wire fence between the ranch and the farms.
Look, cowboys ride 'em down for range. They no like 'em fence.
Say, from the way those waddies are scratching leather, I reckon you're dead right. They no like 'em fence. Little Beaver, I begin to see why. That line of cottonwoods marks the creek. The only water supply's on the outside of the fence.
Farmers pen up cowmen. No get 'em in, no get 'em out, huh?
That's it, Little Beaver. And the cowboys are going to cut that fence to get out.
The cowboys got 'em guns. Make 'em big fight. We get 'em in fight, our Red
Not
Ryder.
so fast, Little Beaver. We don't know which side's in the right and which side's in the wrong. Say, they're really throwing lead. Those cowboys sure mean business. They're trying to cut the barbed wire.
Look, many nesters come over here with rifles. Heap big fire.
Heap too big for the cowpunchers. The nesters are running them off, and they didn't get the fence cut. Say, they winged one of the cowboys. His horse is down. It's about time we're looking into this. Let's ride.
Get 'em up, Papu.
Come on, Thunder. Hit that trail. You catch his horse, Little Beaver. I'll see how badly he's hurt. Now, what's the matter, partner? Are you hit?
Thanks. No, I'm not hit. Like to broke my neck when my horse stepped in a badger hole and threw me.
Here, let me help you up. Yeah. Any broken bones?
No. Leg's kind of sore, but my shap saved me. Yeah, it's right nice of you to be so interested. If I've made a new friend, I'd admire to know his name.
Red Ryder, and yours?
Bud Ward. Old man owns the Frying Pan Ranch. Right now, though, I'm in Dutch with him. Say, did you see the fight?
Yes, what there was of it. You boys were kind of outnumbered. Say, what was that ruckus about?
Fence cutting war. Nesters and cowmen. You know what that means?
Depends on who's in the wrong.
We're both in the wrong.
That sounds strange coming from you, Bud. You're on the cowmen's side of the fight.
I wasn't on their side. I was trying to stop our hands from cutting the fence. Not a good it did me. Dad up and fired me as straw boss. Gave my job to a new hand, Bull Boughten.
Bull Boughten?
Yeah.
See, that name has a familiar ring to it. I knew a Bull Boughten who worked for Ace Hanlon once. Bad hombres, both of them.
Bull's a bad hombre, all right. Say, maybe you put your finger on something, Mr. Ryder. Ace Hanlon is president of the Great Plains Land Company.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Ace Hanlon's outfit sold these nesters their farmland, I suppose.
That's it. Gave them darn little for their money. But they're hooked now, and they've got to have a fair chance to make a living.
With Hanlon in the deal, I'm beginning to see daylight. He must be after your father's ranch. But I'm a trifle curious to know why you're not sticking to your dad in this rumpus.
There's the main reason coming now.
Oh, the young lady on the horse.
Yeah.
Is she a nester's daughter?
Uh-huh. They don't make 'em any finer. Her father, Mr. Lindsay, is the leader of the nesters. Lindsayville's named after him.
That explains everything. Say, she handles that horse like an old hand.
Yeah.
Bud, are you hurt?
Oh, no, just a game leg. Horse stepped in a badger hole. Grace, meet Mr. Red Ryder. He happened along handy to pick up the pieces.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Ryder.
Howdy, Miss Lindsay. I don't wonder you got excited seeing how much powder was burned between Bud's friends and your father's.
Oh, I begged Father to give up our land and stop this bloodshed.
There wasn't much bloodshed this time. Your folks had all the best of it.
There will be, I'm sure of it.
There, now, Miss Lindsay, I wouldn't do any more worrying about Bud. Just you go on home and forget there's any war.
You're going to help settle things, Mr. Ryder?
Well, I'm going to try. But first I'll have a little powwow with Bud's dad to get his side of the argument. And then I'll drop in and see your father, if you'll invite me. And after that, I'll be looking up Mr. Ace Hanlon.
Oh, I wish you would come. And hurry, please. I'm so afraid for Father and Bud.
Thanks, Miss Lindsay. Oh, and by the way, don't mention to Ace Hanlon or anyone else in town that Red Ryder's in these parts.
I'll remember. But do be careful, won't you?
Don't worry about me. I was born to break my neck falling off a horse. So long, Grace.
Now, Bud, if you can get your eyes off that vanishing bit of calico, I'm going to make you a rash promise. I'm going to get you that job back as straw boss at the Frying Pan.
You don't know Dad. He's a fighting man and stubborn as a mule.
Well, here's Little Beaver with that frisky horse of yours. Now, we'd better be getting along to the ranch house. I have a hunch we haven't got much time to head off more trouble.
Me catch him horse. Him run him long way.
All right, Little Beaver, bring him up. All right, come on, Bud. I'll give you a hand up.
Yeah, okay.
Easy now.
Gee, right now I need a bottle of liniment more than I need a job as straw boss.
I hope you got enough liniment to go around, because something tells me Mr. Bull Burton's going to need a little. All right, up, Thunder.
Get him up, Papoose.
Yeah, these cows look mighty thirsty, Bull. How's the spring on the upper range holding out?
Running lower every day, Mr. Ward.
We gotta cut that fence or I'll have no cattle left.
I'm afraid you're fighting a losing game, Mr. Ward. The nesters have you licked. If I was you, I'd quit.
Not by a darn sight will I quit. When the riders from the lion camp come in, we'll have as many men as those nesters. And then we're going through that fence. Hey, is that Bud riding in?
Huh? Yeah, that's the kid, all right. But who's the red-headed hombre with him?
I don't know. We'll soon find out.
Dad, I want to make you acquainted with Red Ryder. Red, this is my dad, Dustin Ward.
Howdy, Mr. Wood.
Hey, Cookie, get me the liniment bottle.
Say, I like your brand, Mr. Wood. That frying pan sure looks ornamental on a cow's flank.
Yeah, it sure does, Mr. Ryder. That is, if I can keep enough cows to brand it on. Well, sizing you up, Ryder, I'd say you'd make a good gun for us. Not that we need 'em so bad to fight nesters.
I wasn't aiming to offer my gun.
Red Ryder, shake hands with Bull Burton, my straw boss. You can work under him.
Bull Burton. I'm not shaking hands with him. I've got strong recollections of his using a running iron on the Dutchess cattle at Painted Valley. You worked for Ace Hanlon, didn't you, Bull?
No, I wasn't working for Ace Hanlon. I don't know the gent. And you're insinuating I'm a brand burner. Mr. Red Ryder, you better chew up them words and swallow them, or
I'll call you, Bull. Oh! You use Hanlon's flash draw, Bull, but you're not as fast with it as he is.
If you didn't have that 44 train on me, I'd break you in half.
All right. Mr. Ward, pick up his gun. And here's mine. Now, you just hold both of those guns. Yeah. And, Bud, don't use all that lemon. Bull's going to need some of it.
Save your preaching for your funeral.
I'm laying my money on the
Look out, Red. Here's Boo.
I see him.
You.
This'll take care of you.
Well, Bud, you better pass Bull the liniment.
I knew you was a good man, Red Ryder. I'll sign you on as straw boss. Bull can work under you.
I'm much obliged, Mr. Wood, but I'm not signing on. You better hand the job back to Bud.
Hey, you're not looking for a berth. Why in tarnation did you come here at all?
Well, I'm here as sort of persuader, Mr. Wood. You know, there's two ways of settling a dispute. Gun law and peace-abiding law.
I'm not talking peace with them low-down plowhoppers. Even if my son has gone soft on a clodhopper's gal. The nesters have shut off my cattle from water. They'll take down that fence or I'm cutting it down.
Now, take it easy, Mr. Wood. Maybe we can settle this peacefully. Now, from what I hear, Mr. Lindsay is a reasonable man. Just as you're a reasonable man.
Well, what do you want me to do about it?
All I'm asking is that you come along with me to Lindsayville and smoke a peace pipe with old man Lindsay. Now, it's my hope to settle this without gunplay. Is that fair?
Always aim a deal from the top of the deck, Red Ryder. I'll go with you. But I warn you, if my cattle don't get to the water before sundown, the fur's going to fly.
Fair enough, Mr. Wood. Now, let's ride. And you come along, too, Bud.
You bet.
Me come. Keep my and Ace Hanlon. Get him up, Papoose.
Come on, Thunder. We're heading for Lindsayville. We got work to do.
Been talking to the nesters, and they're sure tickled the way we licked the cowpunchers this morning.
That's right, Buzzard. We got old man Ward just where we want him. If we can keep that fence up, his cattle will die, and we can grab the Frying Pan Ranch.
With Bull working for Ward, you can count on him to let us know if and the cowboys try to cut the fence.
Hey, see who it is.
Yeah, sure. Who's out there? It's me, Bull. Open the door quick. All right.
What's the trouble, Bull?
Trouble enough. Red Ryder showed up at the Frying Pan.
What? Yeah, that does mean trouble. What's he up to?
Red Ryder's on his way over here to Lindsayville with old man Ward. They're going to have a meeting with Matthew Lindsay. If the Red Ryder has his way, they'll call off the fence war.
He ain't going to have his way. If Red Ryder horns in on this, it's the last thing he'll ever do.
Hands off your guns, boys.
Ryder!
You've got me interested, Ace. What's the last thing I'm going to do?
Now, you keep out of my business, Red Ryder, or it'll be your finish.
I'm dealing the cards now, and get this straight, Ace. I'm settling this fence war by law and order. I know your game is to get a hold of Ward's ranch, and you're using the nesters to do it for you.
I sold them land. They got a right to fence it.
But they can't keep Ward from water. Now, you're trying to force them so that you can grab his land.
Well, you can't stop me from buying and selling land.
But I'm going to stop you from stealing it.
Yeah? To do that, you'll have to bring your cowboys and come a-shooting.
When this is settled, I'm coming for you, Ace. Alone. And I'll come a-shooting.
We return to the adventures of Red Ryder in just a moment. We return to our present adventure of Red Ryder and find him standing before the Lindsay cabin in Lindsayville, attempting to bring to a peaceful settlement the war between the cattlemen and the nesters. Red Ryder has induced Dustin Ward and Matthew Lindsay to shake hands. Bud Ward and Grace Lindsay stand by as interested listeners in the discussion. Upon the outcome of this depends their happiness.
Now, you cattle folk and farm folk must shake hands and understand each other.
Shaking hands don't mean anything. What are you going to do about that fence?
Well, if Bud and Grace can get along without worrying about the fence, there's no reason why you and Mr. Lindsay can't do likewise.
We'd better leave the young ones out of it, Mr. Ryder. The question is, how can we farmers protect our rights? If Ward tears down that fence, what's to stop his cattle from tramping our crops?
I didn't ask you to come here and plant crops, Lindsay. This is grazing land.
We bought the land in good faith, and we mean to stay on it.
That's just the trouble, Mr. Lindsay. You bought the land in good faith, but the truth is you were swindled by Ace Hanlon.
What do you mean, swindled?
Well, this short grass land is only fit for grazing. There isn't enough water around here for your crops. It's your right, of course, to stick and find out for yourself. But if you do stay, you've got to be fair and give Mr. Ward access to water for his cattle.
Red Ryder, you seem to be more interested in the rights of the cattlemen than you do of us farmers.
Red's a cowman himself. He knows what's right.
Come on, boys. You heard what he said. Well, Red Ryder, seems like you stuck your nose in a buzzsaw. Boys, you heard him say you were swindled when you bought these farms.
Yeah, what's he talking about?
You heard him claim this land ain't no good except to feed the cattle of his friend, Dustin Ward. Don't you see through his little game? He scares you off and Ward takes the land. Are you going to let him do that?
No, wait a minute. You're letting Ace Hanlon stampede you into doing something you'll regret. Now, Ace, you can't get away with this.
Can't I? Watch me. Come on, boys.
I don't care what you do with the land, you clodhoppers. But if you don't take that fence down before nightfall, I'm going to cut it down.
Don't let him leave here, boys. Stop him. Now's your chance, Bull. Get Ward.
Drop that gun, Bull. I was just in time to save you from a charge of murder.
Come on, Dad, let's get out of here. From now on, it's gun law for me.
That's more like it, son. We're getting out, but we'll come back or shoot.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Ward. We'll settle this yet. I've got the crowd covered.
Won't do you no good, Red Ryder. Not to pull that trigger. The business end of my 44's in your back. And it says drop your gun and reach.
It's about your style, Ace Hanlon. You always stick a man in the back when you're afraid to meet him face to face.
I warned you, Red Ryder, it'd be your finish. And it is. Hey, boys, I got Red Ryder. You saw what he was up to. You know what to do with him.
Father, save Red Ryder. He was only trying to help us.
I see that now. It's too late. Hanlon, you're carrying this too far. Ryder's done nothing. Release him.
Ah, Lindsay, you're too chicken-hearted to fight cowmen. You ain't seen anything yet. Boys, you can throw Mr. Meddlin' Red Ryder in jail. If Ward and his cowboys try to cut that fence, you can hang Ryder high enough to make them change their minds. All right, lock him up, boys.
Quiet, please, quiet. Now, friends, you got to come to order, or there could be no agreement as to what we're going to do. Now, Mr. Hanlon, you have the floor.
Well, friends, there's no use wasting time when you got your land to defend.
That's just what I said. There's no time to talk.
I sold you that land, and I stand back of it. I won't let Ward and his cowpunchers cut that fence.
Now get to the point, Mr. Hanlon. What do you propose we do to stop them?
Well, I've figured out a smart way to stop them cutting the fence. We've loaded half a dozen tin cans with dynamite and hooked them to the barbed wire where the cattle used to come through to drink.
When the cattle reach the fence, they'll be blowed up, is that it?
No, Lindsay. When the cowpunchers try to cut that wire and let the cattle through, the air will be full of cowpokes.
You mean to deliberately murder those men, blasting them to bits?
Why not? They'd fill you full of lead, wouldn't they?
There's a difference between murder and honorable fighting.
Oh, I told you, Lindsay, you're chicken-hearted.
I'll have no part in this outrage. If this gathering wants you for a leader, that's up to them. I resign.
Men, you heard what Ward says he'd do about that fence before nightfall. Are you going to let him do it?
Oh, of course not.
Well, then let's go.
Come on, let's go take care of ourselves.
Huh? Who's there? What do you want?
Matthew Lindsay. I want to see the prisoner, Red Ryder.
Huh? Oh, come in, Mr. Lindsay.
Yes.
I was afraid some of them cowpunchers might try to get the Red Ryder out.
I want to talk to him.
Yeah, come this way, Mr. Lindsay. Yeah, there he is. Right here in this cell. Now, be careful, Mr. Lindsay. They say the Red Ryder's tricky.
Don't worry. I won't take chances. You can wait outside.
Mr. Lindsay.
Not so loud. The guard may be listening.
What's happened?
Terrible things that I can't approve of.
Ace Hanlon's doings, I reckon.
Entirely. My people would never think of such an outrage if they weren't under the spell of that man.
You mustn't be surprised at anything Hanlon does. What's he up to now?
He plans to blow up Ward and his cowboys with dynamite.
Dynamite, huh?
Yes.
That's a new one for Ace. How's he going to do it?
He has the barbed wire fence charged with dynamite. When Ward and his cowboys come down to cut the fence, the powder will explode and they'll be blown to bits. But I don't intend to let that happen. That's why I'm here.
If I was out of this cell, it wouldn't happen. But I need either a key or a gun to get out of here.
I thought of that. I brought you the gun. You'll have to get the key from the jailer.
That's mighty fine of you, Mr. Lindsay, seeing you're on the opposite side. Now, if we're going to stop Hanlon from wholesale murder, we've got to hurry.
Well, here's an idea. I'll tell the guard that you're going to sign a confession. When he comes to witness it, you do the rest.
Right.
All right, now wait. Hey, Johnson.
Yeah?
Come here.
Come in. What is it, Mr. Lindsay?
Ryder's agreed to sign a confession. Have you got a pencil?
Yeah, sure. Here it is.
Just step up here and you can witness it. Mr. Red Ryder, sign here.
I'm not signing anything. Both of you get your hands up.
Huh? She got my gun.
Johnson, drop that gun of yours.
Yes, sir.
Now, step up close to the bars so I can reach those keys. There. Now, keep your hands up. Now, Johnson, into this cell with you.
Well, I sworn.
Sorry to bother you, Mr. Lindsay, but you're going with me.
Why, what do you
Now,
mean?
march and keep your hands up.
The little Indian boy has your horse waiting back in the jail. Good luck.
Thanks.
Me here, Red Ryder.
Come on, little beaver. We've got to ride harder than we ever rode in our lives. Come on, Thunder.
Get him up, Papoose.
Hit that trail.
Take them. Spread them out. Bud, those critters don't need no shoving. They're so thirsty they'll go through the fence without our cutting it.
And tear themselves to pieces on that barbed wire.
Well, you got to ride well ahead of them. Now, you and Pete have got the shears. I cut 100 feet of wire either side of the old water trail.
We're going to run into some lead from those nesters.
Don't worry. I'll leave 4 hands on the herd. There'll be a dozen men covering you with Winchesters. Now, get going. Cut that fence.
As good as cut. Come on, Pete.
Come on, Thunder. We're racing against death. Give it all you got, boy. On, Thunder!
Whoa, Prince. Rein in, Pete. Better stop here and tie our horses back from the fence. Those steers are so loco for water they'll stampede the horses. Get your clippers ready and come on.
Wait, Bud.
Huh?
Look at that rider heading for us and waving his arms. What's the matter with him?
What? Hey, it's Red Ryder and the little Indian kid. They're trying to cut in between us and the fence. What are they up to?
We better wait and see.
Well, the cattle won't wait. Hey, what's Red Ryder yelling? Can you make it out?
Keep away from that fence. Run for your lives. Little Beaver, head over to those cowboys and tell them to mill the lead steers if they can. I've got to explode that dynamite with my gun. Those cowpokes are running towards their death. Ride, Little Beaver, ride.
You shoot 'em dynamite, Red Ryder. We starting cowboys.
I don't dare miss one of those cans. Come on, Thunder. Come on, Thunder. Steady now. Here's the first one. Easy, son. Now go it, boy. So far, so good, Thunder. 2 more to go. We did it, Thunder boy. We did it.
Well, Red Ryder, lucky you can shoot the way you do, or Bud and my herd would have been blown to kingdom come.
That's one time in my life when I didn't dare miss.
Hey, how'd you learn about the dynamite on the fence?
Lindsay told me.
Lindsay? Well, hey, this calls for a celebration. Now, I'll shake Lindsay's hand again and mean it this time. What's more, I'll give my blessings to Grace and Bud.
Red Ryder!
What's the matter, Little Beaver?
Men ride 'em away. We catch 'em quick.
You get the folks and celebrate, Mr. Wood. I may be back after I hang a sign on the Great Plains Land Company, gone out of business.
Hurry, Red Ryder. Catch 'em bad men.
Pound that dirt, Thunder. We don't want to keep 'em waiting. Come on, Thunder. Hit that trail.
That was some real excitement, and Red Ryder certainly knew how to handle a gun while riding at breakneck speed on his great horse Thunder. With the fence-cutting war quickly settled by Red Ryder and Little Beaver, their next adventure finds them riding straight into the wild Cherokee Strip country, where the only law is gun law, and where Red Ryder's quickness on the draw and his bare fists are sure to go into action. Listen in next time when America's famous fighting cowboy rides into the Cherokee Strip.